94 through now. And UConn has had the better of their head-to-head matchups after Villanova upset #1 UConn a couple of times. The Lady Huskies, ranked #1 in the land, knocked off. We'll see how the 7th-ranked men do tonight. UConn in blue, Nova in white.
And the Huskies, Mike Tirico, go minute.
Brooke Sales from the state of Connecticut. Remember his sister Nikisha, the all-time leading scorer at the University of Connecticut.
And Mike, it's important for Villanova to be patient and have Buchanan come up with a big game.
He misfired. Voskel on the board. Here's El Amin, who has had a steady year.
Good pass.
Edmund Saunders inside. And Malik Allen comes down with the Villanova rebound.
Well, they want to push, opportunity break, but don't be silly or in a rush.
Bobby Smith at the point, the sophomore out of Chicago. Bad pass for Buchanan, taken away by Mooring. Albert Mooring, the starting 2 guard. Can drive. Saunders kept it alive for El Amin.
Pretty.
Nice. Fine for Saunders off his hand. A little ragged here in our opening minute.
Solid El Amin, nice look.
Steve Lapis, the head coach of Villanova. At age 45, he's 7th all-time in Big East wins. Surprising when you think about the coaches in this conference, but other than those who set the table at their program, Lapis is the next in line. We're talking Carnesecca, Massimino, Boeheim, Thompson, Calhoun. After that group.
You never put Raftery in there.
And
rightfully so.
If I would have kept going, I would have gotten to you.
Last in the conference, right?
No, stop that. El Amin, good hands. Villanova hasn't taken a shot yet. Couple of possessions, couple of turnovers. Collada Jr. at 5'10".
Little high dive there. Saunders pick and pop. And baseline runs by Mooring, who has been dynamite. Continues.
Well, Connecticut faithful, glad to see him hit a 2 instead of a 3. He's shooting better from 3-point range than 2-point range this season.
And they go straight up man-to-man. I think you got to get Allen some touches at some point. He takes Jake away. He can make that shot.
There is Malik Allen showing the range at 6'10". Good call, Billy.
Tough for Jake, too, because he'd rather bulk up against somebody on the block as he's doing to Allen right now. Nice lob.
Couldn't finish, but took his time with the second one, and Brian Lynch pulled down the rebound for the Wildcats. They're hopping the step for Smith. Tees up Buchanan, who loves to shoot.
Boy, he does have a stroke. Confidence, gets the puppy set, and Steve doesn't mind him taking the early J. Screen down for Freeman.
There is Kevin. I said to Kevin beforehand, it's so weird to see you still, for me, as Voskel's going to get called for an offensive foul here. That'll be his first.
We'll get back to your thought in a minute, but this is the ability to be mobile, to screen, occupy your man. Like, this isn't really a distinct cut, but Jake's game is underneath, looking to help out on the post-up.
Yep.
And you were saying?
I saw Kevin, and I said, I still can't get used to you in number 33. He wore 15 his first 3 years. He said, me neither. He said, I walk in the locker, I still walk towards where 15 would be instead of 33.
Well, with his body, he can go any place he wants. Outstanding defender. Nice pass.
Malik Allen off the nice feed from Bobby Smith.
Well, Bobby Smith could really help this team in the next month. Penetrate and find people, make good decisions. The little kiss finish.
UConn scored the first goal. The rest has been Villanova.
There's that circle play. Remember Richard Hamilton running that around the foul line, ended up with a jumper. They do it for Mooring.
Irreplaceable. Probably the best player with Ray Allen in UConn history. You could get a good 2-hour argument going on who meant more at the school.
And how about Moore, too? You forget about him, a great defender. A little turn here. Wow.
Well, Kevin Freeman, who much has been talked about with his offense and replacing that 3-man, the small forward. The small man move right there. And almost forced the turnover on the other end.
Nice look.
Buchanan to Lynch. Rebound.
Pretty good recovery defensively.
Saunders the rebound, I beg your pardon.
I'm going to have a little dialogue with you on Freeman being the 4-man, and I'll bring in Calhoun's thoughts. Be interesting. Nice cut here by Freeman.
Suleiman Wan in the game. Tough shot.
Look at the follow.
By Mooring.
And the thought was some writers put in the paper that Freeman, Kevin, they slid him to the 3 spot. Now he should be a power forward. Well, after I finish with Jimmy, I'm not sure what he's playing.
Buchanan, a quick 3. Looking for a second of the night. That is out off of Freeman. Nova ball when we come back. First official timeout inside of 16 minutes. Villanova up 1. Bobby Smith doing a nice job finding teammates inside. Game up at the ski lodge, the pavilion on campus in 94. Kerry Kittles a 24-point night against then #1 UConn. Danielle Marshall answered with 24, but Nova led late. A chance to win for Marshall fell off the back rim. And Villanova, who finished second in the Big East that year, knocked off UConn, at the time #1 in the land, #1 overall in the conference. That's the year that Jim Calhoun's team was knocked out of the NCAA tournament by Florida.
How about Jimmy? 1986, a rise on the scene, takes this program to heights never before seen. A little post up by one of the rookies, special Ricky Wright, a young guy that's going to take over, I think, in a low post for Allen next year.
Chicago, Suleiman Wan, the follow of the miss, and Wan, whose offensive numbers were good earlier, tailed off a bit late. Maybe with Voska playing good basketball, Wan will get going. A little pressure by Connecticut full court, ends up in a Kevin Freeman foul, his first.
A magical Wan as he got to the rim, but that's what dribble penetration will do. Everybody's attracted to the bounce, so defensively, look at the cup. Kids are doing that terrific anymore. Put it under there. Nobody's knocking it loose. And Suleiman Wan, and he loves Sul up at Gamble and providing a little right there.
See those scores go by. Larry Beal and Nancy Lieberman-Klein will have scores, highlights, and analysis at halftime.
A little help. You got to find somebody.
Malik Allen. It's been all Connecticut on the boards. Wan with that rebound.
And you notice Villanova.
Connecticut boards.
I'm sorry, Mike. Getting back, something that Steve stressed with his team. You can't give up easy opportunities.
Bobby Smith comes away with it for the Cats. Little too much handle. El Amin with Allen chasing.
Ooh, tough look for a talented point guard. He knew right away. Just a little too much congestion, trying to help others. That would have been worth the fan dribble for Jimmy.
3 turnovers. Jim Calhoun turns his back and makes a comment to Dave Lato, the assistant head coach.
Now, what do you say now? That says nobody hears him, or we don't read his lips. But that's good teamwork as far as coaches are concerned. You may have a little shot at one of the players and you don't want to get him down. You always want to be positive. Or for the officials as well.
That's right. Here's Smith off a screen by Aaron Matthews.
And that's the way he has to play. Let it come. Good use of the bump, the square up.
It's an 11-8 Villanova lead here at the First Union Center as El Amin used the dribble to get open. 17.5 points per game, and the 12th leading scorer in UConn history.
Yeah, he's uncanny, doing good things after a mistake. And he just comes back. Now, he has to come out. It's interesting to see whether he's not feeling well or fatigued. Check it out.
Marcus Cox is going to check in for him. Right shot is off the mark, and the freshman misses, rebounded by the senior Freeman.
He's not tired.
He's coming out. He's coming out with a few more field goal attempts in his pocket.
Well, he's inhaling. Well, the coach is going to leave me in here. I'm going to take advantage of the time.
Love these Villanova freshmen. Right, Matthews on the floor now. Here is Malik Allen, the veteran.
And Watt looking around, unaccustomed to being that deep on the floor. Malik taking his game downtown. That's what makes him an interesting prospect down the road.
Malik has 6. He's hit 3 or 4 field goals. He only scored 6 against Georgia. So he's off to a much better offensive start than in the last game on Sunday.
Nice curl there. Only with a good kick out.
Morin got turned away, and the tee up from the corner. A triple for Tony Robinson.
Wow. Great looking, speaking of rookies, a great looking prospect.
Out of the state of Rhode Island.
Very quick feet to get himself free and prepared.
Allen over Wan.
Ooh, a little lingerie on that shake, huh?
Malik has had the better of the pivot play thus far against the Connecticut duo. El Amin all the way got fouled on the way in by Allen.
This is defensively not the thing to do. Allen able to get himself always looking the screen, and now the turn away and the step to the basketball. You see, that just cost him. He's trying to help out, but you've got to move the puppies and slide through and get out on an uncanny shooter like Malik.
Here comes Khalid El Amin to the line. He has not missed in Big East play this year. %90 free throws for the season. You saw the numbers for Albert Mooring as well, as made his last 25 free throws.
Oh, that'll jump your numbers. I won it over 72% as a team. And this team is one, in speaking to Jimmy before the game, are they playing well was my question. Are they turning the corner? And he said they have shown signs the last 3 out of 4 games. But every once in a while they slip back. You're laughing.
It's the same thing I asked him earlier today, and I said, are you settled yet? And he answered me for 2 minutes, and I wasn't really sure if he felt they were settled or if they were a game or 2 away, another couple of good efforts from being settled.
You know what a nightmare would be? Having Jimmy as a professor and trying to take notes. He can go. He can get him going.
I always say he's the best dinner speaker, because once dessert's served, you're out 15 minutes later, right?
Well, he did a lot of that. Is on the sideline now, Matthews, you got to know where you are. And he had some busy off season. I was never busy off season. I guess winning that title has something to do with it.
The victory tour, the Fenway Park, the take me out to the ball game at Wrigley Field.
He did the laps, and here's the change for Steve Lapis' team, as he mentioned to you and myself. Different looks. Can't play the same way against UConn, he feels.
Defensive switch. Jermaine Medley out top with Lynch. They find the open space in the zone. The Huskies crashing the glass, can't complete. And Medley pushes the other way.
Good judgment.
Feet are set. Lynch has been cold. Right, the rebound inside. Taken away. Saunders brought it down with jump ball. Was it Vosco or Saunders?
I give it to Jake mostly. Well, he wanted to say hello to his mom, Karen. That's for you. Up big. A little rejection. Jesuit straight, Jake.
Week presented by America Online, continuing here in the Big East and tomorrow night on ESPN.
What a year. Saw him a couple of weeks ago. Just does so many things to help Duke win.
Patty Carrawell been terrific. As Duke has been as hot as anyone in the country. You'll see that on ESPN2 tomorrow night at 9. There's Vosco off the defensive end. Comes back and gets the hoop on the offensive side.
Well, Ray Tipton on the open talked about put a package together on Jake Vosco. Some solid play by him, being more forceful, and I think it's what seniors are for. Begging, get to the hole, present yourself. Nice cross step here, and the ability to elevate.
That rejection, Vosco adds to his total, second on the all-time list. Danielle Marshall is UConn's all-time ejector with 245.
Straight up man still. Sales had a good game against Georgia. He can do some things in that low box if they give him a touch.
Matthews had Cox knocked it away. Medley got it back and tried to force it. And the foul in the backcourt.
And that one, not a good giveaway. Aaron Matthews, is that number 2?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's 2 on Matthews, so he'll take a seat. You see Notre Dame with a home win by 14 over West Virginia in the conference tonight.
And they continue to excel, don't they? But that little drive by Medley, that's what drives Steve nuts. And there's your guy playing the point. There isn't room. Bring it out so you can get something good.
12 in white, you saw check in Andrew Sullivan out of London, England. El Amin lost him on a switch, and Collin gets the deuce.
Oh, clean it all up. That could be embarrassing. What a pump fake by the little guy, but just a little flex screen set him up.
A nice pass from Vosco. So is the center teeing up the point guard in the paint for the deuce. And UConn quietly is edged out to a 5-point lead, scoring the last 8 here at the First Union Center.
Now, Jake's had his season average for assists, by the way.
1. They are right in Lynch's face. 21 is the shooter. Medley spins, found Sullivan, Vosco and Saunders. Saunders aggressively pulls it away.
Twice. Not a bad idea. Just a little close to the big guy's puppies. But running the floor, something he's done since he's arrived. Have you seen a guy improve this much?
All the way through, each step of the way. You remember Travis Knight's improvement? Similar, though Travis showed a little bit more offense. What Jake is doing now, according to the coaches, he's taking his time when he gets the ball in scoring positions and not making mistakes.
Now you'll take this wrong, but I'll straighten it out in a moment.
Lynch a 3. He needed that so bad. Kid is a great outside shooter, but has been struggling mightily. Just 2 of 18 in his last 3 games.
Now Connecticut not real aggressive in their man-to-man. Here's a turnover, a tough pass by Saunders to the box. I think Jake's improved because he's understood each year Jimmy Calhoun more and more. Now that sounds offensive, correct?
Yes.
You know, I mean, taking the hits.
Right.
But Jimmy admits that if guys pay attention, I know I'm demanding, and they hang in and work like Jake did, they're going to get better.
It's not demanding to bust their rear ends. It's demanding to get the most out of them as players, and that's why the players in this junior and senior year of this program usually excel.
Leave it out there for me. Just give me whatever you have.
Blake Allen scored again, Billy. That's 8, and we're tied real quick. Nice little comeback by Villanova, scoring back-to-back goals. El Amin.
Nice rebound. You got to grab 2, though. Brooks.
Kind of a big Villanova lineup, giving Connecticut a little bit of problem on the offensive end.
Look at the banging that goes on here. I mean, you've got to get a good pregame meal with these two. Malik able to get turned, and again, his ability 10, 15 feet away puts a lot of pressure on the legs of Jake and Suleiman Wan.
See, 3 of these Huskies are in the top 8 all time in field goal percentage. The easy goals that they've gotten over the last few years. Sails on a drive. Allen over the back. It's his second.
Tough one, too. You make the goal, there's no push-off. One of those deals. But playing with fouls, one of the problems. I think Steve is hollering. He thinks they gave it to the wrong player.
I just announced it's the first on Allen.
Okay, excuse me.
And we both thought the same thing. We both thought he got one earlier. Aju Deng is checked in for the Huskies. And Albert Mooring connects from 16.
Nice little set play, little screen down, and you've got to slide through and challenge a guy that shoots as well as Mooring.
6 for Mooring, 6 for El Amin. The Connecticut backcourt with a dozen of the Husky 20. Oh, Medley. Oh, look at way of 3. Bad shot, nice shot.
Why don't you tell him it was a bad shot? You think he believed you?
Not now.
Pretty dish.
El Amin. Juan couldn't finish, but Freeman got the rebound. And gets a Kevin Freeman hoop. If you live out in the West Coast, the Midwest, and haven't seen Kevin Freeman play for 4 years, that play was Kevin Freeman.
Such a toughness about his baskets.
Off the screen, Malik Allen feeling it tonight. He already has 10 points.
And they got to get Suleiman Wan a roadmap out that far from the hole. He's unaccustomed.
Villanova by 1. It is a relaxed house. Not what the home team needs against number 7.
Almost a double tick there as Lynch played the pass lane. Kevin Freeman's got to step and go.
It'll be UConn ball when we come back. Official timeout inside of 8. Rivalry week presented by America Online. 2 of the best in the Big East. Villanova leading by 1. We are at the First Union Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Mike Tirico, Bill Raftery. If you've been to Philly, you know right by Broad Street you have the Vet. Then you have the Spectrum. And then you have the First Union Center, the new home of the Sixers and the Flyers. And thus far, Billy, it's been a pretty good offensive show for Villanova.
It sure has. They've been solid and confident, and of course, Allen been stepping up.
After the 6-point game against Georgia last time out, Albert Mooring continues to have the hot hand. He has 8.
And like neither club has established himself on the defensive end. Somewhat passive.
Lynch and Medley. Sullivan and Wright and Allen up front by Suleiman Wan.
Delightful 3-quarter.
El Amin, nobody stopped him. He'll take 3.
And that's why you got to come up and play with the guy. I mean, he's got that look. He freezes you. He's unabashed, too. We'll drill it.
UConn guards right now. Mooring and El Amin, 17 of the 27.
And they're switching on Lynch on the baseline exchange, so he's not able to get free. He's going to have to come up the middle on occasion.
Here's Sullivan, the 6'7" freshman out of London off the window.
Wow. A little bit of a fog on that little kiss delivery. Pretty.
Aju Deng inside gets the hoop. They've got to find a place for Aju Deng to get some hoops. Actually, he technically is from London, England, where his parents are right now. That was his last stop before coming to the States.
And Jimmy was saying he really doesn't have a position yet. That's part of his problem, where he establishes his identity.
Bailout foul as Ricky Wright made the out-of-control drop.
A lot of traffic in the midst there.
Team fouls, 3 apiece for Villanova and UConn, so nobody in terrible foul trouble. You watch the scores go by. A reminder that SportsCenter follows our game tonight. All the highlights, men's and women's, as well as the NBA.
Well, Mike, how about Iowa State? I mean, handling Kansas. A lot of teams improve late in the year, and that's where I think these two teams are right now. Connecticut to get back to that lofty level of last year, and Villanova to become more consistent, put teams away late. The Miami game, a slippage late, and the other day against Georgia, able to sustain it.
Well, Villanova at 11-7. The Miami game would change the complexion of everything. They'd be 12-6, have a win over one of the better teams in the league. They are pointing to this game, their game at St. John's a week from Saturday, and then the game at Syracuse a couple of weeks later, as there are 3 big games the rest of the way. Not that the others aren't important, but if they want to get in the tournament, they need a good quality win here down the stretch.
And you think during the summer on a beach blanket, help the kids, honey, the Miami game, as Maury drills and punctuates, not challenging the shooters twice now.
Albert Mooring and the Huskies are on fire. They've hit 6 field goals in a row to take a 6-point lead. Bobby Smith back in at the point, working on El Amin. Gave up his dribble, but found Malik Allen.
And is it Jake now after watching Allen, hugging him on the perimeter? Very important. This is where Jake should be king, on the box.
10 to shoot. Lynch is looking for an angle for the entry pass. Buchanan, and the shot blocked by Mooring. 3 to shoot. Buchanan saw it and launches.
No, violation.
Never hit the rim. Shot clock violation.
Well, they want to use clock, Steve Lappis's group. They want to make sure they get into something 12, 10 seconds. And the defensive perimeter, this is the first trip where UConn has stepped it up. I mean, they challenged passes, got up on the shooter.
Huskies, who have 3 of the top 10 block men in the Big East, also have some guys who can fill it up, as you see, the last 6 field goals. Reset the shot clock as it went off the foot of Ricky Wright. Medley's going to come in and get Buchanan. So now Medley and Smith will both be in the backcourt together.
Tell you, Mike, they do so. They got a little hold here between Smith and Mooring. Connecticut does such a nice job screening inside, so it attracts the attention of the perimeter defenders. So they now that opens up the jump shot or sets them up to be screened. A very sophisticated little flow to their offense. There's a back screen for Jake.
Mooring and Smith hand fighting and battling. They were the ones yapping a moment ago when John Cal stepped in to tell him to settle down.
And Smith, although maybe struggling on occasion on the offensive end, has continued to guard for Steve Lappis. Great effort.
Edmund Saunders muscled his way in for that hoop. Connecticut on the offensive end shooting at a high percentage tonight. 15 of 27 from the field, just under 56%.
Little side pick and roll, nice hedge by Jake.
Lynch off the screen, Freeman right there. See if Villanova can get a good shot. The Husky defense has been stepped up. Tough 3 from Medley. He's hit 2 of them tonight.
Well, he started the year struggling. Couldn't ring the bell at all. A confident stroke, getting a little better into the 30s.
It's the 4th three-pointer for Villanova this evening. 4 of 8, helping stay within 5. Freeman out high. Mooring came off the screen, but Smith was right there. The knockdown by Saunders of Ricky Wright. Wright was hoping for a foul. Edmonds still fighting in there. And finally, the whistle blows. It's against Villanova. Malik Allen. Well, as rivalry week continues, presented by America Online, here's our double dip tomorrow and double header tomorrow night. Well, we talk about those games tomorrow night.
Family members or one of his pals.
Edmund Saunders makes them both. We'll step out for a minute. Villanova's shooting 50% from the field, but trailing by 7. UConn leading Villanova 36-29. Mike Tirico, Bill Raftery, the first Union Center. Connecticut has made 6 straight, 8 of its last 9. Many of those field goals coming from the guards. It's a 20-point effort from El Amin and Albert Mooring. 20 of the UConn 36. Lynch got a step. He's up Medley for his 3rd 3 of the night.
Well, that's what they want from him. And Smith at the point, Medley off the ball. One thought just occurs to me, UConn doesn't get the steals and therefore the fast break or the open floor opportunities, and that penetration negated the three-quarter trap.
Drastic difference in the fast break points the last few years for Connecticut. A turnover by Marcus Cox. It is Smith on the run, trying to find Medley. They gave him no spacing, and good defense forces a turnover.
Well, that's that inexperience as a point guy, and a wonderful recovery. Tony got himself back in great shape, Robertson, to negate it. You're right. They were bunched up. One guy could play both. It starts with good defense on the one end. Look at this counter. A foot away, and the hand able to recover. Excellent defense and not a well-run break.
Tony Robertson, Marcus Cox were together in the backcourt, but El Amin, right after that turnover, quickly comes in, and Collins does what he does best. Find Vosco, count it, and a foul.
He had that in mind as soon as he saw a white shirt follow him. Excellent feel for the game. Khalid El Amin. Strong picks, get you free. Now look at this wide body by Jake, huh? Body by Jake. But license that one, but here he feels the two shirts. The little soft, depth delivery.
One at the line for Vosco. Shooting him at 81%. Becoming a complete player, and this is senior year. His points per game are up, his shots are up. It's a good thing his dad came to practice. He wanted to know those $3,000 I've been spending for the Pete Newell Big Man Camp. How come I'm not seeing any results?
Did you really?
Yes.
I'll tell you, I think he spends that much money on his haircut, too.
Jake was very upset when he took a couple of stitches. He was concerned that they were going to have to shave some of the locks to stitch him up.
Well, they got a little gel so that he can continue playing and draw raves from the sidelines. But his hard work has certainly paid dividends for this program. Great energy, totally involved, and the burns back in my era there. The sideboards, did they call them?
Did they?
I think so.
That was a little before my time.
Well, my mother used to say, you got to get your boards trimmed.
It's good. I'm glad to know these things that happened before I was born. This is like the Discovery Channel. Ricky Wright will have one more from the line. Boy, the freshmen were big in the game against Georgia. He had 3 straight big baskets in that 10-point effort for Wright. The freshmen have East Chicago.
And they got the big bodies, too. I mean, they're well built. They're going to get stronger. Michael Bradley sitting out, the transfer from Kentucky. This team can continue to get better, but I think the search goes to get somebody who can run the offense.
Warren watched by Lynch. Plenty of time for the offense. Suleiman, one! What about that?
Well, he set sails in the sunset because of the sellout. Brooks, you got to stay at home. You can't gamble. Watch this sellout. Now, all you do is get somebody else in foul trouble generally. And Brooks, a no-no on the defensive end.
Billy, look where this takeoff starts for Suleiman.
It's a whirling helicopter finish, huh? Oh, a snap the net type of finish. It excites everybody.
Completes the three-point play. Connecticut has made 8 consecutive field goals. They're shooting nearly 60%. And Villanova's still within 8 as we come near 2 minutes in the first half.
Dangerous 2 minutes right now for Villanova. Connecticut looks to step it up defensively. Look at this gamble. Oh, does he know the game? His man goes down, goes with a boom. Steps up into the passing lane. Khalid El Amin. Wonderful read.
El Amin, the junior, who in all likelihood is playing his final season at Connecticut.
Really?
I would say so. Yeah, I guess.
Inside source.
No. This would be my opinion. Smith and Medley, the backcourt. Nice sail screen on Robertson. Gave Smith a little space, but Juan used the size to close it off. Nice 6 to shoot.
Good job defensively, collectively by UConn. They've consistently grown on the defensive end as this game has progressed. Robertson in good position that trip as well. Got to get it in.
They find Lynch inside the strip by El Amin. Now 3 seconds to shoot.
Yeah, you don't like a guy to get it under the basket like that, but what they did is they bodied Brian Lynch a little bit further under where he couldn't elevate. Catch and dribble.
Do something quick. Brooks sails away from the goal. Right battling. Juan's longer arms took it away. Robertson on the run. Villanova's back. Robertson took it anyway.
How about that? Sales was there, still able to elevate with strength.
This is Connecticut's largest lead. They've hit 9 in a row, and Lynch was fouled. on the hop.
Seniors aren't afraid, huh? He knew he had the angle. Brian Lynch able to penetrate.
Yep. Larry Beal and Nancy Lieberman-Klein. Hello to our pal Nancy, the GM and head coach of the Detroit Shock of the WNBA. And as you see the foul on Juan here, at least we can be kind and say it's an upgrade from Digger in that chair.
Oh, you're not really going out on the limb either.
No, I'm not.
But I want to put a little pressure on Nancy.
Yeah.
Was there a foul on the last play?
The end of the game,
Yeah.
looked it, didn't it?
Oh, interesting. It's a little bit better look at it. Rather put her on the spot to me.
Full shot clock here for Lynch, who lost the handle but gets it back. Bill told you this is a key 2 minutes for Villanova. They were dry on the last trip. Sales, the nice find inside. Unable to finish is Ricky Wright, and look out now.
Great shot, though. I mean, the selection.
Robertson left it for Mooring. Juan joins the play. Smart decision there by Suleiman. Kevin Freeman wants it. Takes it in. Took his time. Juan the putback. Freeman the garbage.
Volleyball. Too many blue shirts. Not a presence underneath.
Getting destroyed on the boards.
They sure are.
17-7. UConn the rebounding advantage.
Oh, you don't need that one. Why give them the hammer?
Medley missed the three. Shot clock is off. El Amin spin at the midcourt.
Look at him.
Backed it out.
Look at him. I mean, there's the difference, the mentality, the understanding of when to chuck and when to pull.
Last shot for the Huskies. Freeman forced it inside and called for the foul as Ricky Wright and Steve Lapis disagreed.
And making that move, it would have been tippable late if he happened to get to the rim and missed. And Steve knows those tough decisions indiscriminately made against a good team like Connecticut will give you that pain in the noodle.
And you said it at 42-34. Key 2 minutes, and Villanova had the ball where if you get a score, it's a 6-point game. What's happened? 2 Villanova poor offensive trips. UConn hit twice. Chance for a couple of free throws here. Freeman doesn't make the front end of the 1-and-1, but the Huskies get it back with 3:08 to go.
And they're looking to have a discussion on the out of bounds. Steve Lapis didn't agree with it. But that's the difference, I think, in teams that have been down the road. And this team went through a lot last year. The ultimate goal of every team is the championship. They got that. And now trying to find themselves with a different identity. More of a half-court team, maybe. More of a half-court defensive team. And see if they can do it without the open floor opportunity. Here's the lob to... Well, what a break here.
Lob to El Amin, the smallest guy on the floor. Lynch nearly threw it away. They can't get a shot off before halftime. Well, everybody in the act for UConn and everybody hot late. UConn, 13 of its last 17 first-half field goals. When you shoot 76% on the back end of the half, you're going to go in with the lead. At the break, UConn 46. Villanova 34 for roles. As you get down late in the season, everyone filled their role just fine in the first half.
Well, every team has a different personality, and it develops differently, sometimes slowly. Sometimes there's a pace and a feel that pops on the scene. Here's the deep jumper by Moore, and you see all the guys that contribute. The ability, as you mentioned, a Freeman type of release. Here's the nice pass by the big guy. Jake out top to El Amin. Now, we're going to spotlight Khalid El Amin because this is good teamwork. He rubs his man off the post. Now we see Jake at the shake setting up a roadblock. And the ability to turn the corner, draw the D, and a wonderful feel, and then the finish by Jake Vasco. Good team basketball. The Huskies look a little dangerous right now.
And strong at the end of the half. They closed with a 7-0 run. The lead is a dozen, the largest of the night. Villanova needs to find some offense, especially for its backcourt. Medley was great from the outside. Malik Allen was very good as well in the first half when he had 10. It's Allen, Buchanan, Smith, Sales, and Lynch. The starting 5 are back on the floor for Steve Lapis.
And you notice how quickly Jake was out on Allen. They're not going to give that open jumper.
Big Sales in no man's land here. A tough pass to Allen, who's doubled. Trying to find the open man. It's off UConn. 8 to shoot. First half numbers are headlined by good field goal percentage from both teams. Excellent from Connecticut. Taking down the offensive rebounds, the fourth line. UConn 8, Villanova 2. And that great run at the end of the half for UConn. 13 of the final 17.
Got to get it in. And nice hustle again. UConn making it very tough and a turnover.
Kevin Freeman joined Edmund Saunders on the defense to knock it away. Steve Lappis's team not able to get the easy shots at the end of the half. He really could not shut down Mooring and El Amin in the first half as well.
Now it's got to start here if you're Villanova.
This is the end of the floor where they've played their better basketball this year.
Look at this step and go. Oh, is that pretty? Good recovery by Smith.
First half, a Voskuhl to El Amin feed the paint work. Does not here, and Bobby Smith comes back with it for Nova. Malik Allen over Voskuhl. Good D by Jake Buchanan. A nice weak side board.
How about that snatch up big? The weak side again. The attraction by Allen looking to help. Sort of freed up Buchanan.
5 for Gary. Voskuhl left alone. He's more of a presence, Bill. It seems like every possession, Jake's a factor one way or the other.
He's making passes now. He's seeing things. He's a wonderful screener, but also Villanova aiding the cause by selling out. You've got to stay at home. Who catches it, play him.
Buchanan has not had many easy releases. Allen, Saunders read that all the way, came over for the double team, had the block, and turned it over.
A little extra air in the luggage there. Gucci. Oh, keep it down. And that's why big guys, you're afraid they might drop kick, but the assistants defensively, they've trapped, they've assisted. Malik not getting a clear look. And you called twice, I think, on blocks. Saunders helped Voskuhl.
That's right.
And good attention.
Brian Lynch, who, when given the opportunity to shoot, can get as hot as anyone in the conference, but has been missing the opportunities of late. They haven't been able to get him those open looks. He's gone cold. The Smith dribble drive isn't finished. They go on the floor, and it's out of bounds to Villanova.
Well, they've got the glove out there, Freeman on Lynch, and that's part of the problem. But here the ability, just the gamble and nobody covered. And Allen trying to cover in that particular defensive set, not solid by Villanova.
Fresh shot clock. As Connecticut toe is out of bounds when they had possession.
Ooh, Brooke had the whole left side, but he's not a dribbler.
There's Lynch. Feet were set halfway down. Allen battles for the offensive board. It will stay with Nova. A little more grit out of Lappis's team right now.
And you would think at halftime that's what they addressed, because you mentioned the rebounding, particularly UConn on the offensive glass. You got to be physical, stick a guy.
Lynch can try to get close for one. It's just the size of UConn. Freeman and Voskuhl, and a mistake by Saunders.
So you get frustrated, though, as you get to the rim. And what happened there, Jim Calhoun probably didn't see it. Saunders was bumped enough where he was going to walk, and that's why he released the ball.
This is the third consecutive possession for Villanova. Makes something of one of these here. Malik Allen.
There you go. Switched the box. The coverage wasn't the same.
That's a dozen for Malik, whose career high came against Seton Hall when he scored 25.
When you run motion, if you can get Buchanan and Allen on the same side, you're going to be in business.
Tony Robertson and Mooring in the backcourt as El Amin gets a blow. Buchanan thought he had the steal. John Cal had the foul.
You know, the half began and Collin was rubbing his stomach. And he went right out. He's down at the end of the bench, and I think as Joe Sharp is talking to him, he's got a little touch of what everybody seems to be getting over the course of the year. Yeah, he's not himself. Remember he came out early in the first half?
Yeah. For him to come out 30 seconds into the half when he made one play, that was a good one, would be abnormal. Well, they've had games where they had to go without El Amin and Freeman. Hold foul called. Buchanan second foul in 10 seconds. Second and a half as well for Villanova.
The spiritual leader here, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Guy brings a lot of energy. I went there because that's what they needed to win the NCAA championship. Pretty confident. And he did come through.
The kid has a ring. Half dozen of the significant contributors to that championship team. Still here for the Huskies. Saunders, the defense came to him, but Edmund was just smooth and quick.
See, Brooks Sales goes topside and never recovers, so you lead the guy right to the goal.
Sales teed up Allen, who got Voskuhl in the air. No place to go.
Malik's got to learn how to put it on the floor just a little bit to complement that jump shot. He gets the guy up, he's got to be able to put it down.
Villanova's got nothing going on here.
All
There's
perimeter.
Lynch.
And one of the few times Kevin Freeman gets hung up. A tray for the CBA performer.
Belmar, New Jersey, Christian Brothers Academy. 9-point lead, and we welcome the fans here in Philadelphia. Thanks for showing up. Lynch the steal. Woo. Got fancy. Buchanan got 2.
How pretty was that? A little Coos, a little Iverson.
In Allen's building.
It's his place.
Hey, Sunday here is Allen Iverson against Sacramento.
Oh, well, there'll be some passes thrown.
No mustard served with pretzels. It will come with each pass. Huskies need a good trip. So all of a sudden, 7. Vasco. Malik Allen was big.
Now he stayed home.
Buchanan called for it. Smith went all the way. Oh, he got a little bit too close.
Nice play by Lynch there. Bad look.
Couple of men open. Back to Lynch. It's be a good reset. That's a veteran. An important trip.
Tough angle.
Allen got bailed out. Got fouled.
You're right. Little juice in the building, and Lynch waking up. You love your upperclassmen to get into the fray. And this time, Lynch, the fast break, the kick, the 3 started it where Freeman got hung up. A little display. And making sure when you're a shooter, you got to stay active. Step, cut. Look at all the bumps. Double screen, staggered, able to hit it with a little nylon. But this is one for the ages. Keep that in Belmar. We'll be showing up for a few years. A little razzle-dazzle.
Well, Lynch cold from the outside, hit the shot, made a couple other things happen. Malik Allen missed at the line. El Amin will check back in. Connecticut turned it over just 7 times in the first half and 4 second-half turnovers here in the first 4.5 minutes.
You know, Mike, when you see a guy like El Amin out and the team starts sliding or the lead slips away, you realize how important the point guy is. And that's the struggle for Steve Lapisolia. They haven't had that impact at the point position.
Villanova has scored the last 6 to get within 6 of the defending national champion Huskies. Lawrence Moten from Syracuse has won. All-time Big East scorer. All guys who stayed 4 years. There were several good performances in the league since, who stayed for 3 years. But those are the all-time leading scorers. Kittle's 4th. Freeman on the offensive end won the tip. And Lynch came away with the rebound. The scrappiness of Lynch has been key in this little run, which is now almost 8-0 as Smith missed the chippy. Saunders, Juan, see ya.
That play alone, it should have been a pass and a layup.
Yep.
On the Villanova end. You don't make it, the counter punching. Tough Huskies, make you pay.
What a swing. Smith was right there, had the layup, didn't make it. Instead of a 4-point lead, it's now 8 for UConn, but Malik Allen brings it right back to 6. This is as steady a night as I've seen out of Malik Allen. He usually has those 3-minute bursts. He's been steady every time he's been in the lineup.
Well, I think what's helped them is other guys playing a little better, like Buchanan there.
Sure.
And if Lynch plays within himself, that helps as well. They don't take the quick chuck.
Hey, if you're a senior, this is it. It's February of your senior year. It's your last month in your conference. Big East, Big Ten, wherever you are. If it's not now, it's never.
And look at the recovery defensively. They've stepped it up, Villanova.
Amin on that sideline. Had it taken away.
Back and forth.
Cannon and Lynch. Allen late. Foul.
What a nice move. Stepped against the flow. But how about the fast break opportunity, Mike? Come on, guys. Get the numbers in a positive vein. Back and forth. And right here, the commitment, the ball fake. And Lynch doing a little bit of French pastry, as Al McGuire used to say, in the open floor.
1 per night. 1 behind the back per night. You know,
some guys do it looks very graceful. Others, well,
every night for the last 20 years. Malik missed them both. A 68% shooter. Another opportunity to get it down to 4. Goes by the boards. It's twice now.
Big thing is rebounding, I think. Key checked out for Villanova, and the counter get to the offensive glass well. He helps too, huh?
Mooring lost Smith and stuck a triple. That's over his average for the season tonight now. 14 for the junior out of Preston, Maryland. Albert Mooring.
How many guys make it off the bounce? Usually it's off the screen and you get your feet set.
There's Lynch with his feet set. He just could not find the three-point range anymore.
Off his leg. Good play by Alamine.
Off the leg of Aaron Matthews, and it will go to the Huskies. You see Ohio State survived that Wisconsin game, and Auburn won the Battle of Alabama.
And this is coming right at us. You can come up now, Mike. That was a great hustle, but you got to protect the ball against that guy. He understands, and he's right. Helps the officials, and Collin is out as well right now, and I just think he's a struggling guy. Sucking it up, playing on adrenaline maybe.
Just a couple of minutes here and there, and right back to the bench.
Well, Jim Calhoun's not feeling exactly chipper either. I mean, it's been an ongoing couple of months. He can't get rid of it.
To leave the bench for the second half of an early season non-conference game back in December. Mooring handles and shoots, and Albert Mooring is playing terrific.
That'll make you feel better. Maybe Pat should cook at home a little bit more for Jimmy. He might feel a little bit better. But right now, he'll settle for the deep threat of Albert.
Well, the Villanova Wildcats had a couple of chances to get it within 4. Didn't convert, and UConn leads by a dozen. The defending national champions lead by 12. They are 7th ranked in the country. They've lost 4 times. This is game 20 of the season, but don't count these guys out just yet. They, I think, are starting to settle into who they are in the year 2000.
Well, this is a team that's starting to gain some confidence. Khalid Elamine, we're told now it's a little back problem.
Oh, really?
That's part of the struggle, but you're right. They're finding roles. How things change. Go up to Syracuse, have a big game. Did you see the crowd?
Yes.
At Syracuse? All of a sudden, Connecticut's got the target. Everybody salivating at an opportunity to put them away.
They are the hunted in the conference, and they'll be the only chance to repeat as national champs when the tournament starts in 6 weeks. Matthews got close and got fouled. It's not just the NCAA tournament. Remember the Big East tournament that they've dominated, along with Khalid El-Amin. He's continued the tradition. Connecticut has won 3 of the last 4 Big East tournaments. We haven't seen a run like that ever in the postseason tournament.
Well, Jimmy decides to pack it in a few years. The legacy he's going to leave, and the talented performers. Khalid sucking it up, as we mentioned. The back problems, the thigh injury. I mean, it does take its punishment. But I first met Jimmy. He was at Northeastern, and he was an unknown entity, and yet his teams in the NCAA would scare everybody. Like, you know, you see a Temple or Richmond over there, Richmond be another. You see him in your chart, and all of a sudden you go, oh my goodness. And Northeastern used to do that. And Connecticut, hiring him and what he's done has just been incredible. Luke Perkins is eating at the best restaurants, the AD, enjoying life. And starting football. Or not starting football, but stepping up in football.
Get it to 1A and trying to get the state legislature all together on the same page to get a football stadium in East Hartford, Connecticut. Randy Edsall's the head coach there, and this is signing day for college football teams. And Randy had a terrific class that is coming into stores as the holding foul is called, as Juan presents himself inside. The official report from the Connecticut bench is back spasms for Khalid El-Amin. He may not return tonight. Let's see how the game goes.
And Mike, as you know, Lou Perkins, if I were a state legislator, I would pay attention only because he gets it done. He surrounds himself with great people and lets them work. And the infrastructure that goes through, new stadium, I think they'll benefit the whole state.
It is a state that the Huskies are the show, and the reason why is that man. He has put the sports psyche of Connecticut in a great state. The 99 national championship to go with those other unbelievable numbers. 256 and 73 in the 90s. And with a recruiting class as well that will take this team quite nicely into the next few years.
Well, the Cats are going to have to step it up. They're not with those kind of shots, though.
Main medley of force. The ball is finding Lynch in this half. 18 to shoot for Villanova.
And they're hugging a nice high-low.
Unable to finish is Ricky Wright. UConn ball. This is the largest lead of the night for Connecticut at 13 at this official timeout. Well, Albert Mooring was a scorer in high school in Preston, Maryland. 2,513 career points. As a starter this year, he's starting to feel very comfortable.
Against Pitt in Texas, he had 9 threes in a row. The space dribble gets him a counter. His use of screens. And how about this one? The skinny legs. The pull. The elevation. Man, it takes a lot of strength. I worry about you hitting the rim from there.
You see, he's been a better shooter from outside the arc than inside. Coming in, he had made 25 of his last 37 threes. Add to that tonight, 3 of 3. El Amin back in for UConn here inside of 12 minutes.
Cats need a little spark. It's generally on this end.
Robertson with El Amin. Trap it.
And that helps the cause for Villanova. And one of the few mistakes you'll see the floor leader commit. Almost 5 assists a game, a little under 3 in the turnover category for a guy who has the ball a great deal of time.
And shoots it a lot, too. He leads this team in scoring, assists, steals, and El Amin is second in 3-pointers. Nice block by Aji Dang. Sticking with it was Matthews, missed it twice. When they can get Dang and Juan on the floor at the same time, or Voskuhl and Dang, they are so long.
Problem, though, is matchups. Nice pass here. A long one, too.
And Freeman was out-battled by Aaron Matthews. Buchanan stepped back looking for space. Medley, that quick trigger. The putback flush by Ricky Wright.
The right stuff, Ricky. Getting the rim and dominating. But Medley will shoot it soft enough he can do that.
Jermaine hit a couple in that first half. At the halfway point of the second half, some of the fans trying to keep the Cats in the game.
You're not a Tom Cruise fan, huh?
Right stuff. Oh, I got you. I was going to ask you if you plan those or if they just happen naturally. But you know what? I know by now they come naturally. Robertson, maybe an ill-timed shot and an important trip for the Wildcats. Just get a good one here, Villanova. Malik Allen. Oh, pretty. Over the trees.
How about the freeze? Rocks him with the stare and then locks him with the hook.
17 for Allen. There's a chance for a career night. 25 is his best. Voskuhl's going to come back in. The double on El Amin, who called for time.
And one of the few traps all evening. Opportunity. Use the half-court line and the sideline. The size factor, too. El Amin unable to see. But Malik here draws the attention. And this is just good poise. The 2 pivot foot, the thrust, the little baby hook, and that negates the big hands or the longness of the inside people.
Malik Allen shoot, helping get Villanova within 9 here. Just inside of 10 minutes. And Allen's going to take a seat on the bench. He's 8 of 12 from the field this evening. The Wright, Matthews, and Sales up front as Allen takes a little breather.
This is one of those positioning him for the stretch, I think, don't you? Making sure he's fresh.
It's a difficult time of the game because here may be your only opportunity to make a little run.
Well, he won't get much. He may just stretch it to the TV timeout.
Yep. Which comes up inside of 8 minutes. Allen has played 24 of the 30 minutes here tonight.
A real nice play there. Didn't come up with it.
Well, I mean, almost turned it over, got it back. Didn't look like he got up as high as he normally does. Remember, he's suffering with back spasms, trying to play through it. Saunders free throw line.
So unselfish, Jake. I mean, a lot of guys would have taken that one. But they still continue to harass on the 10, though.
Buchanan was not ready. Got it. Reloaded. Mooring ran to the board.
Well, one and done.
I'm sorry. Yelling back at Steve Lapis. Lapis was yelling for a foul. Buchanan was fouled by Mooring.
Pretty good anticipation. And Gary stepping in. The big thing, I think, with UConn, with this group of Villanova people, now Allen's in so much for the TV timeout, was going inside. Take advantage when you get a good shot to follow.
Huskies have turned it over 8 times this half. It's now 15 for the game. It's right on their average. Villanova has protected the ball thus far.
They got Allen. Look at all. Saunders down there looking to help out, too. They can try and go high-low.
Sales out high, gave up his dribble.
So this is where I think he's got to learn how to beat his guy.
Cannon almost threw that away. Nice find, Sales.
Boy, he opened up the defense. Jake addressed the dribble penetration. Oh, does that break down your D?
That's the first 2 points of the night for Brooks Sales. And it's a 7-point lead again. Nova knocking on the door.
And a double screen.
Freeman, Matthews in his mug. Saunders. Pushed in the back by Brooks Sales.
A little power. Get it inside. Make the inside Villanova people react. See if they can foul or get them in foul problems.
Each team 14 fouls with 8:20 left to play. Villanova a 15 foul. The hold should be 3 on the freshman Buchanan. Buchanan, the first player in the game with 3 personal fouls. SportsCenter's coming up with a possible Charles Barkley return. Barkley was a guest on Dan Patrick's radio show. You'll hear what he had to say. Plus, Dick Vitale's fast break after the game, and after another 3 by Albert Morey.
Well, that delivery was as quick as Dick's delivery.
Albert Morey, 4 of 4 from behind the arc tonight. Perfect emergence.
Buchanan's real good without the ball, too. That's important when you can shoot like a Mooring or a Buchanan. A little small change.
On El Amin against Jermaine Medley.
A little nickel dimer.
2 on Collard. He's going to go back out. Tony Robertson is going to come back in at this timeout. Well, the UConn guards we've talked about all night. The success for Mooring and El Amin. 29 points. Mooring, 8 of 9 shooting, 4 of 4 from beyond 3, and it's a lot of the work of the man who works with the UConn guards, Carl Hobbs, former great Connecticut guard, class of '85, that has seen the success for Albert Mooring on the offensive end continue to grow this year.
Well, we've been fortunate to watch practice on occasion, and Jimmy lets the guys step in, take over, run the scouting system. And most guys do when you think of it, but Carl, so well thought of, breaking down tape alongside Tom Moore and Dave Aleto. A terrific group.
Tommy and Carl do a terrific job in walking through the other team's stuff on the day of game shoot-around. Robertson in the game was making a tough feed to Freeman. It got knocked away. There is that UConn staff. Dave Lato had a head coaching opportunity. Might get one again. And Carl Hobbs will be a man who down the line will certainly deserve some looks at some head coaching opportunities.
And Jimmy's got confidence. I mean, he'll let them have input. Because I often wondered years ago who the interpreter was. But
he's got a couple of guys who played for him.
That's true. That's true. They can slow it down like great players. And here's a little nickel dimer. Unfortunately for Villanova, Aaron Matthews.
That's going to get Villanova in some foul trouble here in terms of the 1-and-1. They had just 3 team fouls a couple of trips ago, but now it's been 3 in a row. See, the Huskies have remained hot from the field, while Villanova shooting 40% for the night. That's catch for El Amin, who's playing through some back spasms. Big one for Connecticut on Saturday. They play Michigan State. But a bigger one because it's a conference game today. Bosco the board and Freeman the drive.
Wow, all the dirty work. Jake banging, caressing the ball, then kicking it back out. And once again, the bull, aggressive style of the UConn power. Freeman.
All of a sudden, it's a 12-point lead. And this crowd that was buzzing slightly is quiet. Lynch missed the 3, and El Amin in there for the rebound, his second of the night. Huskies have 30 boards to the Villanova 18.
Now this is where you value your point guy. You use some clock, get them organized.
Freeman and Saunders, UConn with its starting 5 on the floor right now.
And they're trying to establish Freeman on the block. Good job by Villanova.
Mooring, who's hit his last 8 shots. Tees up Freeman. The quick hands from Brooks Sales help knock that away, and Allen protects.
Ooh, tough look. Now, who was that to? That's the, you know, the tape. The coach will say, who are you throwing that to? Matthews?
Right.
You know, Andor. Sales, that's maybe one neither one could handle. Tough angle. If we don't have a good one, just eat it.
Turnover 10 for Villanova. Here for the ball. Okay, a little better than they normally do tonight, but completion. Nice feed to Vasco. Sales just extended. Oof. Was undecided on chasing it down. Medley has looked for the shot tonight. He's turned away by El Amin. It's a dozen inside of 6 minutes. Malik Allen off the street.
Big rebound. Well, Allen was very active that trip. That's how he got the jumper. Screen, then got a screen.
Matthews with it.
And look at Freeman. Body hugging here. In the subway, he get locked up.
Banging away against Malik Allen. Good interior passing to Sales.
Real solid. And Connecticut will do that. They'll overrun a play, get preoccupied with the one. Don't help unless you're absolutely needed.
10 with 5 to go. If you would have bought a ticket for tonight's game, I think this would be a time that you would exercise your lungs. Try to help the home team. El Amin. Vasco tried to finish flush. Big trip, get a good shot here.
They've got to believe, though, the fans, maybe this one will wake them up.
Lynchy. Three.
And there they are, on cue.
Timeout, Huskies.
Pretty good crowd, too. 14 and change here. Down from the main line.
Hey, if you're going to show, give it a go. I've got no problem with, I don't care who wins the game, but gosh, if you're going to show up in the building, help your team.
This is just gorgeous as Jake steps up and the little slippage to the goal. I mean, that's real heads-up basketball. Brooks Sales finding the hole, but this is the guy when he is on fire. Gives him another score, a little nylon from the corner, but also attracts the defense.
You know where I'd like to see you? I'd like to see you work in the WinterXGames.com, part of Go Network. Go.com. Inside of 5, number 7 leads by 7.
And Steve's done a nice job keeping his club in contact. Would you say?
Yes.
And this is one that could have gotten away a number of times. So he's shown a lot of mental.
They pointed to this game. This was one they kind of needed with few opportunities to knock off big ranked teams remaining on the Villanova schedule.
And once again, down low, 10-second mark.
And the ball was in the hands of Juan, but he worked it in the offense well. And Edmund Saunders hit a shot.
You know, when they need it, they do have some answers down in the block. We mentioned Saunders with that one, Juan, Vasco. And I guess every working man's favorite, Kevin Freeman.
Smith, who's been quiet, tees up Malik Allen. He got a little bit closer and will earn him from the free throw line.
Hey, that's an aggressive move. I like to see that with the big guy.
The two big picture items I take away from Villanova tonight is how steady Malik Allen has been. And when you and Dan Shulman were doing the Miami-Villanova game, I remember Danny saying how Aaron Matthews, for a freshman, looks like a sophomore or junior. There's nothing thin or wiry about him, or for that matter, most of the rest of their freshmen.
Well, Dan's a gentleman, by the way.
And a Canadian, too.
But they do. They look like they haven't even started the weight training programs and cut like me in my younger days.
Look at Davidson beating Wake Forest tonight in overtime. Wake has had it tough over the last couple of weeks. That's a tough loss for Dave Odom's team.
A little wrinkle here, maybe trap the pick and roll. 2 guys. See if they can come up with a steal.
20 on the shot clock. Smith with El Amin.
Now, you don't want to foul now. Just guard.
El Amin lost his man. Knocked down 3.
The kid has got it. In big basket. What would you like to take home?
A dozen for college. UConn leads by 10. Smith. Every time Villanova gets close enough, UConn hits a hoop and stops him on the other end.
Tim Tolikin, the crack SID, who's been great to a lot of people for many years, he said the back, he keeps rubbing his stomach as though he's got a pain there. I'm not so sure if it isn't the flu and the back.
Huskies stop the clock here at the 3:11 mark with a 10-point lead.
See?
Yeah, you see that discomfort?
I mean, that's incredible.
He is certainly frustrated. Each team with 2 timeouts left. Well, the perhaps best rival.
The next one, if they can dodge this one.
I'll tell you what, that could be a terrific game Saturday. El Amin against Mateen Cleaves. Morris Peterson against the UConn forwards, whoever Jimmy puts on it. That could be a fun game.
The glove, probably, I would think. But how about Mo Pete last night? I mean, that's as good as I've seen him either against Carolina and the rook to the 10.
Tony Robertson, the hoop, and the Huskies are back up a dozen inside of 3 minutes.
So he can be quick-footed, nice screen. Buchanan should have gone right up.
And he didn't, and he got blocked by Robertson.
There's no time to ponder under there.
Especially against the Huskies. Lynch a little closer, trying to do a little too much.
Yeah, maybe that one was even a shot.
This is the official timeout inside of 4. It comes at 2:34 and finds UConn up a dozen. Connecticut by 12 with 2:34 until SportsCenter comes your 4 of them threes. Add in there 4 assists and 3 rebounds, and even though we didn't have a vote, Bill, he's been selected our America Online Player of the Game.
And he has been online too, and the one thing that he does, he gets free, and they acknowledge when he's free with the basketball. The timing is impeccable.
Villanova tried a little pressure, but with El Amin and Robertson and Mooring, 3 guards out there who can handle, there's no problem getting out of it.
A little spread here, a little breakdown. You don't help, go all the way.
Nice wrinkle you can have here, which can go 3 guards and still be in good shape. They have flexibility, and the roles are getting defined for this team. Howard on the tape. Jake almost finished.
And that's exactly what they wanted.
Inside at 2. Don't need a 3, but it certainly helps.
Big hands.
That doesn't help. Robertson threw it out off of some high-paying fan in the front row. What will Barkley do? We'll hear from Charles on SportsCenter, and a recap of Tennessee and UConn coming up on SportsCenter tonight on ESPN right after the game.
You know, it can't be high-paying. 2 of my friends are down there. Either that or they stole the seats. A couple of Villanova guys, Matt Morahan,
You mean
Ed Welsh.
It's not at the NBA prices
I don't
on the
think
front
so.
row tonight?
No. A lot of suits along the front row, though.
A little different atmosphere for a Villanova home game. When they play up at the Lodge, the pavilion on campus, they are tough to beat. Allen the miss, Mooring the rebound, and Connecticut's 90 seconds away from improving to 5-3 in the conference, 16-4 overall with a game against Michigan State on Saturday.
So you can take a hit till he's strong. Able to turn and find. He was indecisive there. I think he was going to give it, but it was too early to Jake.
Foul by Lynch. I tell you, folks, be careful of Connecticut. They just being around them a little bit today and talking to a few of the players and talking to the coaches. They're getting comfortable. Remember, they lost Richard Hamilton. The shot distribution is getting settled. Kevin Freeman's role is more solidified. They're not getting what they hoped out of Ajit Deng, but they're getting more out of Voskuhl and Juan as a combination. Saunders had the problem with being a little too aggressive. They've calmed that down a little bit. They are going to be a dangerous team for the next 6-7 weeks.
And Mike, as they came into this year, you know, all of the plaudits and the great success, now you go and play 2 great programs right out of the gate, and you don't really define maybe in your own mind exactly where we're going as a team. And I think what Jimmy's trying to do is have them grow defensively, step it up a little bit, have a good understanding of what's to be run on the offensive end. And he's also developing new faces in the lineup, going deeper by committee up front.
As you saw, 27 free throws in a row now for Mooring. Connecticut has its largest lead as we are inside of a minute after that turnover.
So they have great confidence going out and challenging. There you got your center out, playing the passing lane, knowing he's going to get coverage from the rear.
Villanova goes to Georgetown on Saturday. The Hoyas had a big win last night on ESPN2 against Louisville. And then Notre Dame is right in here in the First Union Center on Tuesday night to take on the Wildcats. Final 25 seconds. Buchanan chased it down and traveled.
And that's good hustle, but unfortunately both going after the same situation there.
And I think Jimmy will get El Amin out of here now, or nope, Kevin Freeman will sit down as Robertson comes in. see Connecticut a few more times on ESPN as March rolls down. And 5 weeks from tonight, Mr. Len Elmore, Dan Schulman, Billy and myself will be in New York for the Garden Party. The Big East tournament starts 5 weeks from tonight. And the Husky faithful, along with a good Husky team, are going to be there ready to be heard.
And they're getting their confidence. They're going to be a tough out.
Albert Mooring was outstanding tonight. Had 22 points, including 4 threes, 8 of 9 field goals. Made his last 8. Our final score, Connecticut 74, Villanova 60. With Bill Raftery, Mike Tirico, thanks for watching. SportsCenter is next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.